Welcome to News on Canal the English, the headlines. Thousands of candidates across the country today began writing the 2017 edition of the Baccalaureate Exams. The Secretary General at the Ministry of Secondary Education was on the field to evaluate the stats. Inhabitants of the city of Douala live in fear due to growing insecurity in some neighborhoods. As Muslims observe one of the 5 pillars of Islam by respecting the Ramadan fast, the month is also a good period for business. Developments will be yours right ahead. More than 1,000 candidates across the national territory began writing the baccalaureate examinations today. Here in Douala, our reporter, Christelle Katala, went to the field to find out how the exams began on day one. This report.
At Government Bilingual High School, Bobongo Petit Paris in Douala, an unusual cameras on campus. In the examination halls, 869 candidates, both arts and science, series are writing the subject of the day, literature and philosophy. The chief of the sub-center has taken measures to avoid all forms of fraud and cheating. He also made sure that the exams unfold in all serenity.
All is okay. All the candidates are here. You have just four candidates who are not inside the classroom. So since this morning at 8 a.m., all has started. All the teachers are in classroom, all the secretary are working actually, so all is okay. We do not have any problem here.
The atmosphere is similar at Lycée de Dorhem. In this sub-center, 7 out of 857 candidates are absent.
I think all things is going fine because our supervisor will come and prepare things with the other member of the administration. And since I came here yesterday, I saw that all things are moving fine. And today the candidate came and we controlled them and so on. And now all things is going really fine. And I have the occasion to work with that woman.
The candidates will be writing the baccalaureate exams during 4 days. The examination ushers them to higher education.
Over in Yaoundé, the Secretary General at the Ministry of Secondary Education, Professor Elie Tamileke, visited some examination centers and sub-centers and also environs of the city to see how the exams were unfolding. Beatrice Gamo accompanied the Secretary General.
The quiet schools, examination centers and sub-centers tells serious business is ongoing in the classrooms. That is what the Secretary General of the Ministry of Secondary Education, Professor Elie Tamileke, and delegation came to verify and evaluate this Tuesday morning in some of the centers following kickoff of the written and practical phase of the baccalaureate examinations this May 30th, 2017. The stops at 5 examination centers: Government Bilingual High School Ngoso, Government Bilingual High School Memboman, Lycée Technique Ekono, the Jean Alege Messi Sub-Center, and the Setik Ngwaikele. Appreciation of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Secondary Education satisfactory.
We are very satisfied with what we have seen. The collaborators, the students, there's a lot of assiduity, there's a lot of seriousness, and we are satisfied. Our impressions are very good.
At the end of the inspection tour of these examination accommodation centers, Professor Elie Tamileke has this prescription in the name of the minister.
Is that they should continue to work like this, and not only here, but also to encourage and send a message of the minister to all the other regions that they should continue to work as we have found here and remain vigilant so that the end of the exams can end up very well as they have taken off.
Some close to 285,000 candidates are sitting this 2017 baccalaureate general examination in centers across the national territory.
Still on baccalaureate examinations, our reporter Dee Morin followed one of the candidates from home early this morning right to the examination center. She now presents her report.
A science student of Government Bilingual High School in Jombe is getting ready to write his first baccalaureate examination. Like every other candidate, he is thoroughly searched at the main gate. I am writing a baccalaureate examination for the first time. I'm not afraid. I'm not new in the system since I've once written the preparatory examination. Rudolph identifies his class and bench. His candidate number 23. Rudolph succeeds to kill the fear and panic that characterizes examinations. He remains calm and serene as he confronts the first subject of the day.
Toutes les dispositions sont prises au plan pédagogique.
All measures have been taken in the pedagogic as well as security. We are making sure that we have a hitch-free examination.
Afin que l'examen qui débute ce jour puisse s'achever dans de très bonnes conditions.
Before kickoff of the first subject, candidates check the authenticity of the examination scripts sealed in envelopes. These under the watchful eyes of administrative authorities.
Après 15 minutes après le lancement de ces preuves, nous avons constaté
30 minutes after kickoff of the first paper, we observed that 3 candidates were absent. Amongst them, a certain Tom Tengne, who is actually undertaking the military training. Who is presently taking part in the military training. He did not present himself at the sports practicals and also in the written phase. It is a similar scenario at this sub-center in Lome. Here, some candidates were declared absent. It is a decisive moment for these candidates who are facing their destiny.
Away from education, Electoral authorities in the Central region are not too satisfied with statistics as far as voters' registration is concerned in the Nyong and Kili. The Central Electoral Board members have visited the division to see how they can come in. This report with Beatrice Ngamo.
3 months to the end of registration on the electoral list, statistics less satisfactory in the Nyong and Kele division of the Central region. Difficulties hindering work on the fields numerous. Excessive heavy rains, enclaved zones, lack of electricity, the lack of national identity card, and the lack of interest by the population. The 10 subdivisions of Nyong and Kele, Biyuha, Bonjok, Mbot Makak, Dibang Ezeka, Makak, Matom, Mesondo, Ngong Mapubi, and Ngibasal gives a total of 1,042 newly registered and 496 electoral cards distributed as of the 26th of May 2017. The members of the Electoral Board of Elecam for the Central Region, May 29, exchanged with the actors of the electoral process in the Nyong and Kele division. This to improve their working methods and conditions and correct issues before the 30th of August.
We feel to encourage our collaborators because what they are doing on the field is a bit difficult due to the distances, the lack of means of communication and so on. But they don't have to give up. They have to maintain their efforts and to try to go the farthest they can go so that all the community can be implicated in this domain of elections.
After the Nyong and Fumo, Nyong and So, and Nyong and Kele, the electoral members from the Central region will tour all the 10 divisions of the region. This for midterm evaluation of revision on the electoral list and better preparation for the upcoming 2018 elections.
The new senior divisional officer for Mayoloti has called on the population to register massively ahead of the upcoming elections and contribute to fight against insecurity. Haj Njoya Zakariaou made the call while visiting some subdivisions in his area of command. This report with Ambo Gladys.
With the 2018 presidential elections closing in, the new senior divisional officer for Mayoloti division is preoccupied with voters' registration. Haj Njoya Zakariaou has advised the population in his area of command that the exercise is part of their civic responsibility. The SDO talked to the population during a contact tour that took him to the Mayo Ulud subdivision, Figil and Guide to get abreast with the realities of field. You have to massively register on voters list. When the Elections Commission come here for the exercise, all of you must go there and register because it is a civic responsibility. The fight against insecurity is another challenge for the SDO, who needs to carve out measures to combat the vice in an area which is also target for the terrorist sect Boko Haram. Haj Njoya Zakariaou has to that effect urged the population to be vigilant, collaborate and contribute to the fight against insecurity. Your main concern should be on inquiries. Concentrate and inform us on any issues of great concern that will help us to take good decisions. You don't have to take the responsibility to go after the hoodlums. It is the duty of security men. The Mayoloti division is a touristic area, and for its cultural heritage and the population to be protected, the new senior divisional officer is expected to work with defense forces attached to the military region in Marwa in far north Cameroon.
The government of Cameroon wants to solve the problem of electricity shortage in the Grand North. For this reason, the Minister of Water and Energy Resources is presently on a working visit to this part of the country. He wants to see the exact situation and what can be done so as to give those people a better life. This report with Florian Gamini.
The Minister of Water and Energy Resources, Basil Atanganakuna, is on a working visit in the Grand North of Cameroon. The main reason of his visit is to seek ways to revive electricity supply in the region, which for some time now have been fluctuating because of the old and dilapidating state of the Lac d'Eau Dam.
Le directeur général des NEO nous l'a rappelé d'ailleurs tout à l'heure, et c'est pour ça que j'apprécie.
The director of NEO reminded it before. That is why I appreciate his presence here this day. He assured us that probably by the end of July, some contracts will be signed so as to construct solar system distributions. These centers will be built in Gaoundéré, Guidé and Mara, and it will be of very high capacity.
Mais également à Marwa. 3 centrales solaires d'une capacité de plus de 25 MW.
Since the construction of the Lac d'Eau Dam in 1983, it has always been the principal source of electricity distribution in the interconnected network of the Grand North.
À plus long terme, ça aussi c'est important de le savoir.
In the long run, we intend constructing another dam that will generate more electricity production for the population interconnected.
Dans la région de la Damawa, c'est un barrage qui va générer 75 MW.
The Cameroonian government is looking forward to putting in place some solutions to solve the problem of electricity shortage, both in the cities and villages of Adamawa, North and Far North regions of Cameroon.
Inhabitants in the city of Douala say they live their lives in fear of the unknown as insecurity keeps gaining ground. Wandi Morin has been talking to some city dwellers who say they live their life in fear as they are no longer secured.
It is a bright afternoon in Commando, TFAs and Mongo, all neighborhoods in Douala, Cameroon. Behind a peaceful atmosphere is a terrorized population. A day does not pass by without private residences and business sites robbed by bandits. Inhabitants say armed robbers attack them in broad daylight and even at night. Just last night, my neighbor was robbed. Her handbag was snatched by bandits at the moment when she was trying to close her shop. It was about 9 p.m. They took her cell phone and the sum of 65,000 francs CFA. 2 weeks before, a lifeless body was discovered here. They snatched people's handbags here. The run towards Lycée Mungo Joseph. The bandits are children. They are from this quarter. Insecurity continued to gain grounds in Cameroon's economic city. This woman is one of the blockheads of Commando neighborhood. She's disturbed by the rise in insecurity and says some of the bandits are well known by the population. She frowned at the fact that a number of actions have been taken by government to protect the population, but the measures are still not effective. The population of my block have decried constant robbery attacks, even in broad daylight. Those who rob here are from different quarters. They attack, rob, inflict matched wounds, and even kill. I have alerted the population of this. The insecurity problem is really preoccupying. We have had a number of meetings with quarter heads and other administrative authorities. We always disturb them with this problem of insecurity. The fear of the unknown now reigns in neighborhoods in Cameroon's economic city, Douala. Families cry out to security forces to arrest the problem.
Muslim faithfuls in Fumba, non-division of the West region, have been instructed to get rid of bad practices during this holy month of Ramadan. Muslim faithfuls are barely 1 week into the fast that will last for a period of 1 month. Crystal Katala.
Muslim faithfuls in Fumba in the non-division West region of Cameroon have begun fasting for the month of Ramadan. In different mosques, moments of meditation are intensified, like prayers, preaching, psalmody from the Quran. Fasting is prescribed to them by Allah in verse 183 of the Holy Book. This be Muslim faithfuls will have to abstain from drinking, eating, and having sexual intercourse during the holy month. As you all know, the month of Ramadan is a blessed month where sins are forgiven. It's a month where every Muslim should think of doing something good. Ramadan constitutes the fourth pillar of Islam. Those who abstain from the fasting are the sick, pregnant women, and nursing mothers. During the period, Muslims are equally called upon as peers of the Quran to manifest acts of generosity.
We have started the Ramadan fast in a very calm atmosphere. First of all, the weather is wonderful and we did not go through any confusion as it is usually the case here in Cameroon. Fuman is started the same day with any other Cameroonian, and we have started the same day with any other majority of African countries.
Ramadan corresponds to the 9th month of the Muslim year according to the lunar calendar. It is during this month that the Quran was given as guide to Muslims for good conduct.
Still on Ramadan, fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam observed during this period. In the following report, Amber Gladys says the practice does not hinder Muslim faithfuls to continue with their day-to-day life, and again that it is equally a period of good business.
Boubacar is a Malian national who has lived in the Commando neighborhood in Douala, Cameroon for several years. He is a dry cleaner and a Muslim faithful. Boubacar begins his day at 6:30 a.m. and has remained steadfast to his faith despite challenges he faces daily in the exercise of his duties. There is just nothing that can stop him, not even fasting, which is one of the pillars of Islam, which is a practice observed during the period of Ramadan. According to Boubacar, fasting is a ritual and not a hindrance to work. Few meters away from Boubacar, there is another dry cleaner, a Muslim faithful who has lived in that same neighborhood for 25 years. Tambura, as he is known by area residents, also confesses that fasting has no negative effect on his business. On the contrary, he receives more customers and works 4 hours a day, modifying his working schedule because of the Ramadan ritual practices is far-fetched, although he faces some difficulties. We face difficulties, but we are dealing with them. I started this job since 1987 in Senegal. I came here in 2005 and I've continued with the same activities. Fasting is not a hindrance. When I am through by 2 p.m., I go for Quran studies, and at 4 p.m. I resume work. Boubacar and Tambura are very ready to respect fasting without it being a hindrance to their business activities.
With this report, we come to the end of the news tonight on Canal the English. Thanks for watching.